Hi guys, this is part 2 of the part 1, why autistic children make noises. If you haven't watched part 1, I will encourage you to watch it first before coming back to this video. It will make more sense for you. I would like to share strategies on how we can support our children's STEAM, or if it's possible, reduce the likelihood of stimming. Don't forget to like the video if you do, to share and to subscribe. There are a lot of strategies we can use to support our children's STEAM, or even possible reduce the need for them to STEAM. If your child is a child who finds noise and crowd difficult, as I explained in part 1 video, and you were going to attend an event, the first thing you want to ask yourself is whether it was necessary to attend the event. Is it really necessary? Do they have to go through this pain? Is it necessary for them to attend? For example, you're invited to a birthday party. Do you really need to go? Particularly on the day when your child is extremely agitated and you've not been able to find out what the trigger is. Do you really have to attend the event? Secondly, if you have to, you want to check if the event is sensory or scent friendly, or however you want to define it. What I mean is, you want to make sure wherever you're going, they have a quiet room or a safe space where your child and yourself can step out if you're struggling, or maybe there's a side door you can step out if you're struggling. You want to make sure. You can contact the people at the other end of the event, depending on where you're going, and then check with them. Say, look, I'm coming with my child. He will struggle with a lot of noise and with crowd. I just want to check what can you do to support the child. So ask them to make a reasonable adjustment for your child before you attend. The adjustment could be that when you arrive, they can give you a side plate, a side seat, so you can always step out, or they can see you sooner so that you can leave if you have to leave. If you were going to attend a hospital appointment, I don't know about other countries, but here in the UK, your child should have a hospital passport. It's a 2-profile page which has information about your child's diagnosis, their lives and sensory needs. Normally you take your child's hospital passport with you, so you can just hand it over to the receptionist or whoever receives you at the hospital, and what they will do is they will prioritize you to see the health professional as soon as possible, or you'll be seen sooner so that you can return home. Another strategy to use to support your child's STEAM, or to reduce the need to STEAM, is if you're going to go out, again, to just make sure your child knows you're going out and what you'll be doing there. So we're going to go shopping, and after shopping we will stop at the petrol station to get some petrol, and then we'll stop at McDonald's. Just give them the now and next. Now we're going in mommy's car. Next we'll be going to the shop. Next we'll be doing this. I know life is not always predictable. I know, you can always predict things, and things might happen. However, it's always good to just prepare them. The reason is because, particularly for our children who are not so expressive, they will find it difficult, or to struggle because they are not able to ask you why has there been a change of event, what's happening. So it's always good to use whatever mode of communication you use for your child, whether it's picture message or whatever works for your child, or just using single words or even more sentences or phrases, whatever works for your child. Just let them know what the plan is. Let them know what you'll be doing, next, so they are well prepared. Another strategy you can use to help your child is, if you were going to you went out with your child, right, and then you return home, is to give them time to go to their safe space or to just unwind a bit. And you might say, we were only out for 15 minutes, it should be all right. It's 15 minutes, just 15 minutes for you, but it's not 15 minutes for your child. Remember what they had to put up with whilst they were out. The noise, the crowd, the laughter of people, the sudden noises, the chattering of people, all kinds of sensory input were taking place while they were out there with you. So it wasn't just 15 minutes. So when you return home, just give them time to go to their safe space, or whatever helps them calm them down. Just let them chill out a bit before you move to the next activity. Also, one other strategy is for you to understand that you are your child's your child looks up to you for answers. So when your child is dysregulated for whatever reasons, they are looking up to you to help them regulate their emotions. So what you want to do is to be calm. So if your child is engaging in any stimming behaviors, for example, they're being repetitive, or they're banging their head on the wall, or they're agitated, or they're pacing up and down, they're flapping, whatever they are doing, and it's because it's as a result of the sensory overload, what you want to do is to be calm. You want to be calm. You don't want to repeat. Stop, pacing. Stop making those noises. When you say that, when you're making them more anxious, you want to be calm and then reassure them. Again, use the communication language that you have, you and your child are comfortable with. If it's just single words, and say, you know what, are you a bit anxious? And then give them options. Should we just go to this room? Should we go out for a walk? Or should we do this? Be calm. Pay attention to the tone of your voice, because some children might interpret your tone as difficult. They might think they're guilty, or you're not happy with them, and because they have no way of saying, Mom, why are you shouting? Why have you raised your voice? They might, because you're not able to say that, they might again react in other behaviors just to respond to that. So it's about just watch the tone of your voice and just be calm and allow your child to be able to regulate themselves by looking up to you. If you're going out with your child, and some parents will allow their children to wear ear defenders, but mostly with ear defenders, some parents also are not very keen for it, because it says ear defenders can actually make their children too reliant on them, and they believe it might actually impact their ear in the future, so some parents don't. Lastly, there are a lot of strategies, but lastly, it's always look for the trigger. Once you become a parent or a caregiver of a child or young person with certain needs, you want to always investigate. You want to ask what happened. There is always a trigger. You want to use the ABC chart if it helps. So A, B, so A is antecedent. What happened before that? B, what was the behavior? And then C, what's the consequence? There's always a trigger. A typical example, if school told you your child was very agitated today, was pacing up and down at school today, we don't know why. We'll ask them, has there been any change when your child came to class? Was there any change? Any minor change? It's not a minor change for them. Was there a change of a teacher? Was there a change of a sitting place? Was a particular child who arrives at a particular time arrived in a different time? Because of the anxiety and because of their lack of expressive abilities, they want to make sure everything is predictable. So any change is a massive big deal for them. I hope this has been helpful. So I've just shared some strategies of how we can support our children's STEAM, or if it's possible to reduce the need to STEAM. I forgot one thing also. If you're out in public with your child and there was a sudden noise, and you know your child struggles with sudden noise or noise in general. Remember in my first video I said I focus on children who suffer with noise, and there was a sudden noise. It's not the time for you to go on your phone. This is not the time for you to go on your phone. You want to look out for your child and make sure you're all right, and if you need to step out or return home, you might as well do that. You want to make sure your child is all right. If your child really struggles with sudden noise and there was a noise, or you think there's likely to be too much noise wherever you go, you want to wear comfortable clothes, outfits, and comfortable shoes in case your child is struggling, finds it difficult. Because again, in my first video, I said some children will try to manage these sensory inputs by throwing themselves on the floor. We call it autistic and meltdown, by absconding, try to run away. So you just want to make sure you're wearing comfortable clothes and comfortable shoes if you're going to be out with your child and there's going to be likely to be any noise. I hope this is helpful. Look out for part 3 of this series, where I will talk again on the topic that is important to our SEND families and the SEND communities. Don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions, please drop them down and I'll come back and respond to your questions. Thank you for taking time, and you look after yourself. Thank you.